Yes, hello there everybody, welcome back to the channel. Tell you what, it's lovely of the people at Minneapolis City to give me this shirt, but it's useless against this cold. It's December 2020. Let's find out how we've been getting on the season so far. Whew, that's better, much warmer now. So yes, hello there everybody, welcome back to the channel. Dodgy Gamer here, bringing you our second episode of our new save, our weekly save with Minneapolis City SC. Now, as I promised you in the first episode, we're going to do things on a season review basis. So here we are in December 2020, but then we're going to move ahead through up to almost the end of the season. Not quite the end of the season, because we do have coming up at the end of the episode, not one, but two huge games early in our history with Minneapolis City SC. Now, this is normally, of course, the point where I would invite you to subscribe to the channel, but with this series being set in North America, I'm spreading the love to our Yankee counterparts. So, back in episode 1, in the intro, I used a little clip, which you'll see now over here, from Zilla Blitz. I borrowed from Zilla Blitz's channel, a fantastic creator based near Minneapolis, and he's doing an absolutely fantastic Football Manager series. Now, my intro there, I don't know what you thought of that, but if you want guaranteed quality intros to episodes, go and check out Zilla Blitz's Walkabout Europe series. You will not be disappointed. Tell him Dodgy Gamer sent you. Right, so now we're halfway through the season. I thought I'd just talk you through the tactic that we've been using mainly. So this is the main one that we have deployed. Now, I've based this, as you know, I mentioned in episode 1 that I have been in contact with the club, and they've given me like the list of their first team squad, who are the regular starters and how they line up, and they do prefer to play a 4-3-3 system, so that's what I've kind of tried to implement here. So we've got a flat back 4. We've got these 3 central midfielders. Now, I dropped one of them back. I did experiment with 3 right across the middle, but then this was a tweak I made just to offer that shield in front of defence. So we've got an anchor man in there as well. Deep line playmaker. Here, sometimes, depending on who's available, who's in form, who's fit, we might go with an attacking central midfielder or a Mazzala. And then we've got a winger on one side, an inside forward on the other. And then, again, depending on who's available and what the situation in the match is, either a poacher or an advanced forward up front. And the tactic has been working pretty well so far. You can see here on the average ratings, lots of green coming up. The front 3 in particular have been performing very, very well. Nick Hutton amongst the leading goal scorers in the league. Oliver cutting inside from that right flank and getting plenty of goals as well. And Will Kidd, an absolute demon on the left wing. You can also see we've got lots of good partnerships developing here. We've got the central defensive pairing, Barry and Kent. They have a good partnership. Smith is linking up well with Steigwart as well. And then our fullbacks and our wide men are linking up well too. So all good signs that, you know, the team cohesion is there, that's being built up, and the tactics really firing on all cylinders at the moment. So just showing you our fixtures in the league so far as we're at this halfway point, and you can see a lovely, lovely amount of green at this stage in the season. We've just had 1 defeat. That was away to Milwaukee Torrent, who are one of the better teams in the division, but lots of wins. We've had a couple of big ones. We beat Lacrosse, for example, 6-1. Nick Hutton, the hero of the day, with 5 goals. Absolutely fantastic performance from him. But you see in a lot of the matches it's been like 1-0, it's been 2-0, 2-1, 3-1. So we're just playing that little bit better than everybody else. We're not dominating in most games, but we're just playing that little bit better and we're getting the wins. And at the halfway stage, we sit top of the table. We're 4 points clear of Milwaukee Torrent, the only team to have beaten us so far. Also 4 points clear of Fort Wayne in 3rd. So obviously holding on to those top 2 spots, that's the key to automatic promotion. 3rd through 5th puts you into the playoff system. But we can see a group of 5 starting to break away from the rest of the league. So all these teams on 40 points or above, these are likely to be the ones fighting for those spots come the end of the season. Hasn't all been going our way, hasn't all been plain sailing so far this season, though. Take, for example, the US Open Cup. Now, we breezed through our first round, or first qualifying round, I should say, quite easily with a 4-0 win over Corpus Christi. I did not know that one of the colleges of the famous Cambridge University competed in the American soccer leagues, but there you go. Anyway, we beat them quite easily 4-0. Then we came up against South Georgia Tormenta FC 2. So seeing that 2, I thought, it's probably going to be some reserve team. It'll be fairly easy. It wasn't. We went behind halfway through the first half. We fought our way back into it in the second half, but the game ultimately went to a penalty shootout, which we would lose. That's one of only 1.5 things that the board's unhappy about, because they wanted us to get to, I think, the 4th qualifying round, so they were disappointed that we were knocked out so early. Yeah, the other thing they're expressing concern over is the financial situation. So you see, we're in debt. So not a huge amount, perhaps, but for a small semi-pro club, it is a big deal, I think, to be this far in debt. We're overspending on the wage budget, although I would add, I have not added to that wage budget at all. This is what we were spending when I took over. So, you know, I stand by that. We haven't spent any of the scouting budget. I did disable the transfer window at the start of the game. And, you know, as I said, our intention here is to take the existing squad as far as we can. And then as we reach a point where maybe, hopefully, we're getting those promotions and they start to struggle more, we'll have some youth players coming in. We'll be looking at free transfers, local players that we can bring in. So it's not youth only, but it's youth and local trial free signings only. But yeah, this little jump you see here, that's because the board pumped some money into the club. Dan Hodeman dipped into his pockets and gave us £40,000 to bring us up to, you know, almost clearing the debt. This is something that he will do again later in the season, I'm sure. So yeah, transfer update, easy, nothing. So fast forwarded now to March, and the reason for this, and also part of the reason why we don't have any transfer signings, is because of the youth intake. So here is the day that the new youth intake arrived. So Jeremiah Johnson, who is the real kind of manager of the futures teams that Minneapolis City have, so I put him in the game. He's got a, you know, a nice high inflated working with youngsters rate. I set him up to like the same formation that I do. He likes a passing playing style. Vertical tiki-taka is not really what we do, but, you know, we can work with players who have been trained in that way. And he has brought through, I have to say, pretty decent group of players. We'll take a closer look at them in a moment. Just want to take a look at some of the facilities we have available first. So you can see here, youth facilities, training facilities, both of those are poor. Now, of course, we're at quite a low level of football here, tier 9 in the infamous FM Digis tier 10 database. Now, here's the thing. If you're looking to do a youth-only save, I would say don't start it at a club like this, because you start with poor youth facilities and training facilities. We're semi-pro as well, so all these things are going to make development of players quite a challenge. Now, I'm doing this as a philosophy. Now, of course, you can go and speak to the board and ask them to do those improvements. You can say, can you come and improve the youth facilities? I would say there's no point doing that at the moment, because if I do it, well, we don't have any money at the moment. We're still, well, now we've come into a positive balance because the board have just pumped a little bit more money in the club, but that's not going to be enough to improve the youth facilities. And building up the youth facilities, improving the youth recruitment and the junior coaching, that all costs money, which at this level you just don't have. So what I need to do is I need to make sure the current group of players is good enough to take us through a few seasons until we build up a bit of a bank balance, and then we can start making those improvements to the youth facilities. But another thing that doesn't matter so much at this level is that pretty much any player you get through your youth intake at one of these lower levels, especially in an edited database, is going to have super high potential. And as you can see, pretty much everybody who's come through here is rated with a very high potential. So, you know, we don't want to get too excited about that. It does say in the message, golden generation, whisper it quietly. But, you know, we'll be a bit more cautious about this. There are players to get excited about, though. You've spotted one already. I know it. Yared Bayene, all the way from Ethiopia to Minneapolis. And I say that because he doesn't have dual nationality or anything. He was born in Gambela in Ethiopia, and he's over here playing for Minneapolis FC, come through our youth system somehow. But considering he's only 15, I think we look like we've got a bit of a player on our hands for the level we're at. Another one that jumps out, and another one not from Minneapolis. Ryan Andrews, who's come all the way from Trinidad. He's actually from Golden Lane. Absolutely fantastic place to come from. Attacking midfielder this time. Dribbling, look at that, can take a free kick as well. He's got a bit of flair. So, you know, I think we've got someone here who could be quite a creative force. Just a shame that at the moment I don't actually play with an attacking midfielder. As you'll see here, we've also got players coming in from Brazil. We've got players from Mexico. So quite an international flavour to this current youth intake, it has to be said. Also, there's one other youngster to point out to you. Someone who's already here when the game started, already here in our youth teams, Marcelo Santiago. Now, I have recently given him a little bit of a run in the first team. Our main goal scorer, Nick Hutton, had a spell out injured, and this guy is doing really well in the youth leagues. He's got an unambitious personality, but still banging in the goals, so we thought we'd call him up, and he's been banging in the goals for us as well. So yeah, if we have a look at his form, you see he's scored goals in some of our recent games against Kalamazoo, against La Crosse, against Ozark FC. He got a brace against Med City, scored on his debut against Madison. So 6 goals already in 5 starts. We are excited about this young Brazilian. If you would like me to delve a bit deeper into how I go about building up my youth players, getting them up to a first team level, how I go about trying to make sure my youth intakes are as good as they can possibly be, let me know down in the comments. I'm going to be keeping all of these save points so I can go back through this at a future date and track the progress of my youth setup at Minneapolis FC and my youth players. I mean, we'll do this a little bit in the save, but if you'd like a dedicated video about youth development or a dedicated little series about youth development, let me know down in the comments. So to bring you a quick update on the league, in March at the time of our youth intake, you can see we're still there, we're still top, and we've opened up a bit of a gap. We have got at this time a 9-point gap on the second place Columbus Academy. We got a 10-point gap on Milwaukee Torrent in the playoff spots. We've got a huge gap. What, 27-point gap over Duluth? By the way, nobody got my 90s music reference. I knew a lady who came from Duluth. Lake of Fire, as covered by Nirvana in their seminal Unplugged set. Come on, people. But yeah, we're a long way ahead of 6th, so we're looking good for playoffs. It would take a catastrophic decline for us not to get promoted, I think, from here. Now, there is a second cup competition, of course, the US Open Cup, which is basically an equivalent of the FA Cup, just open to all clubs. We didn't get very far in that, we've already talked about that, but the Vase, the USA Vase, or actually, as we're in the USA, I should say, the Vase. The USA Vase. We're doing pretty well in this. So much like the English FA Vase, not Vase, it's Vase when it's in England. This is a competition for kind of non-league clubs. So as you can see, we breezed through the opening rounds. We got 5-0 and then a 2-0 against a team called Barcelona. Well, Barcelona Soccer Excellence. Anyway, Harpos were beaten 1-0 in the 3rd round. Core Valley 3-1. Bronx River we beat 5-2. Then the toughest game we've had so far, we played Charlotte FC's academy team. So this was a team stuffed with 16-year-olds, but bloody good 16-year-olds. And it went to a 1-1 draw. But this time, we held our nerve in the penalty shootout. We're going to play Houston FC in the quarter-final. Let's skip ahead and find out if the FA Vase could perhaps be one of the two big games I've been talking about. It is, you know, as you can see right here, our next matchup is against Conneticut in the United States FA Vase final. So you can see here we would go on to beat Houston FC 2-1 in that quarterfinal. Then we played El Paso Youth Soccer Youth Soccer Club. There you go. And we beat them 1-0 in the semi-final. So we've got Conneticut in the final. Let's take a closer look at them. They're in the Northern Premier League, so one step above us, but they have just secured, well, no, they've almost secured promotion to the top flight. They actually are in the playoffs there, so they've got to battle it out, which is great for us because that means they've got to play a match 3 days before the final, whereas we've had a full week of rest. But yeah, just to update you on the league since March. Now, we've had a bit of a wobble. We lost to Kalamazoo. Kalamazoo, bottom. Would you believe that? Our second defeat of the season came to the team bottom of the division when we were top. Well, I guess I probably rotated too much on that day. Although, Marcelo Santiago was our goal scorer. We bounced back immediately after that, though, with a huge win. Nick Hutton back in the team, bagging a hat-trick as we beat FC Columbus 5-1. We then had a couple of draws, but then back to the big wins. A 6-1 win over Oakland. Will Kidd and Nick Hutton both getting hat-tricks. We then continued our winning ways until we played second place Columbus. So again, it was an academy team. We struggle against these guys, and you can see we lost 5-1. Ouch. Not our best day. But then we bounced back with a couple more wins. Now we played Duluth. It's Duluth again in our last game. Beat them 2-1, and that was enough to get us automatic promotion. We're on 99 points. Now, this is where the second crucial game comes in today, because as you can see, 2 games left to play. We're 4 points clear of Columbus Academy. So, if we win our next match, or we just win one of those final 2 games, we go up as champions. Right, so we're going with our strongest team. Elder in goal, Barry and Kent in the centre of defence, Adams and Barr in the full-back position, Smith, Ruiz Plaza and Bayane. Bayane coming into the midfield. He's old enough to sign a contract, be registered for the first team now. Get him in there. Oliver and Kidd are on the flanks and Hutton up front. So here we are at a mostly deserted AT&T Stadium. I think it has a capacity of about 80,000. The news item before the game said 1,000 tickets had been sold. Well, let's see what we can do here. Conneticut, of course, in the division above us. They've just won promotion, so they will still be a division above us next season. But can we take them on here? Oliver! Yes! Wow, look at that. And Bayane, that little fantastic gem from our youth system with the assist. Oh, perfect start. Look at that. Bayane involved. Nice little bit of triangular passing around. Bayane just knocks it over the defence. Oliver on the volley. Get in. All right, we finally get some more action in this game. It's been very quiet since the goal. Conneticut looking to launch their first meaningful attack, but it breaks down. Bayane, though, this time his pass is not accurate. And that was offside. Torres offside. We get away with that one. All right, so that was a half with a goal, a disallowed goal. And not much else, just the one shot from Conneticut. So we're doing pretty well. We've just got to carry it on for another 45. Well, see, this pre-match, all the talk was about Conneticut being favourites. I just went with, I'm pleased, boys. Just keep doing what you're doing. Hopefully they actually do. And a time-wasting substitution, as we're now in stoppage time. I'm going to go with Mark Bokeen coming on for goal scorer Justin Oliver. No, Will Kidd. We're going to take off Will Kidd because Will Kidd is looking very, very tired indeed. We'll let him rest his legs, get Bokin motivated. Final 2 minutes. Can we win a first trophy with Minneapolis City FC? Or SC, rather. Come on, the clock's running down. The referee's given added time on top of added on time. But there we go. The FA Vase belongs to Minneapolis City. Look at that. It almost looks like a COVID-era stadium, doesn't it? We've got a few spaced-out fans over on the far side. But this is what they all came here to see. Minneapolis City left the United States Vase. Yes. Well, worship is a bit of a strong word, but okay, fans, if you want to. Right, so we've jumped ahead to that game with Fort Wayne FC, the penultimate league game of the season. Columbus Academy sent out a huge message yesterday, winning their match against Kalamazoo 7-0 to guarantee themselves automatic promotion and to close that gap to just 1 point at the top of the table. So can we get that win today? Get that 3 points that will guarantee us the championship and bring us a second trophy in this season and this episode. So we're off. Big game this one. 2 big games in the space of 4 days. But this is the kind of thing we live for at this level of football. It's Fort Wayne FC with the first chance, luckily for us, headed wide. Now our chance. Bayonne whips in the free kick. Ruiz Plaza. It's very similar to Fort Wayne FC's chance from just a moment ago. All right, we've got the chance to build something here. The midfield knocking it about nicely. Ruiz Plaza now. Bayonne Smith. Smith over the top to Hutton. Oh, Hutton acrobatically places it in. Oh, it says we're in a title-winning mood. Well, we don't want to speak too soon, but oh, beautiful bit of passing there from the midfield. Hutton read the ball well. Smith just lobbed it to him. Yes. Right, we're out for the second half. Some of the players at half-time starting to look a bit nervous and apprehensive. So we're going to have to watch out for any silly mistakes creeping into our game, like the one that's just given away a free kick, but thankfully Elder is equal to it. Right, corner swung in by Smith. Bayonne, oh, he almost scored. Barry almost scored as well. 2 very good chances in quick succession. Right, again, Stigwart on for Ruiz Plaza, as we did in the previous game. Justin Oliver's having a terrible game, so I'm going to bring on Bokin in his place. Oh, Nick Hutton's gone down injured, thigh injury. Santiago is the only option. He's got to come in. That's our last substitute. Oh, hopefully, who knows, maybe the youngster, the young Brazilian, could be the hero and get us the goal today. Oh, we're so close now. Only a couple of minutes left on the clock. Can we add a second here to put it beyond doubt? Bayonne with the shot. Oh, it goes wide. Would have preferred to see him play a through ball for Santiago there, but we're into stoppage time. 5 minutes of added on time. It's 1-0. Oh, there's going to be one last throw of the dice from Fort Wayne. They got nothing to play for. They've guaranteed a playoff spot, and they can't get an automatic promotion spot. But pride, I guess. Pride, or maybe helping out their mates at Columbus Crew. Bar, or sliding in there, doing well to win the ball, and now it's Kidd. We've seen him so many times marauding down this left wing this season. He gets the cross into the far post. Oh, if Oliver had been on the pitch, he probably would have done it. Smith with the header. Oh, that was close, but it's used up vital seconds. There's less than 30 seconds on the clock now. Terrible goal kick. We're going to take our time with that throw in, I think. Referee, we're waiting for you to do the honours. Confirm us as champions of the Central National League. Oh, there we go. What a first debut season. I just punched my microphone. I'm so excited. What a debut season. 2 trophies. The FA Vase and the National League title, the Central National League title. The rain pouring down in Minneapolis, but we don't care about that. All the fans ecstatic here at Edor Nelson Field. Oh yes, the fireworks are plenty in Minneapolis tonight. Ah, Nick Hutton, that puts a dampener on things. A torn hamstring. Ouch, out for 3 to 4 months. Poor fella, he's been great all season. So put an arm around him to console him a bit. And you'll be back in the first team when you're fit. So, although there's still a game to play, everything's academic now. Doesn't matter what happens in that final match. We are champions. We've been promoted. Next season, we're stepping up to, I would assume, the Central Premier League, where we're going to take on teams such as Little Rock, the Scott Gallagher Metro, Scott Gallagher Missouri, the Texas Rush. Ooh, Core Valley. We beat them in the cup, didn't we? So yes, do let me know what you've thought of our first season and those 2 victories today. I know it's been a bit of a longer episode, but I thought as it's 1 episode a week, we could stretch things out a bit. Let me know what you think of the episode format as well, the series format so far. Are you feeling it, the kind of 1 episode a season now? If I can play through everything quickly enough, next Saturday we'll be looking at the end of season 2, and I do hope you'll join me for it. So for now, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't done so already, get the bell on for notifications. I'm Dodgy Gamer, and I'll see you again soon.